Hi, it's Tamar with the Lived Experience Practitioner, Discrimination Diaries, doing another entry. So, I can't remember when I last did an entry. I've had a shit week. Oh my god, it's been awful. And I've actually spent the last 3 days in bed. It's just, oh god, it's just been awful. And I've felt so low. This is like one of the worst moods I've had for a very, very long time. The only reason I've got up today was because I had a psychotherapy appointment. So I've kind of basically, got up, got dressed, got myself down to the she shed, had my psychotherapy appointment, cried a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with I've had 3 specialist appointments in the last week, so obviously that's a lot to do with the you're looking at the health impacts of the health impacts of it. It's not so much this work, it's trying to have equality in this work, the activism around the work, the trying to get it recognised, just trying to have an equal opportunities, etc, etc. So my neurologist spoke about the problems I'm having with my eyes and the twinges and limbs, etc. I've wondered if it's side effects of the medication that I'm taking. It ends up that I've got to take a glaucoma test, have my medication increased, also take migraine medication, basically to rule out glaucoma and migraines. The medication being up to rule out epilepsy. I'll have an EEG in a few weeks again to try and find out if it's epilepsy. Basically, when you have an EEG for a couple of days, you can find out if it's epilepsy during those 2 days. But if it comes back as normal, that doesn't mean it's necessarily normal, it just means it's normal for those 2 days. So it's not a concrete, your epilepsy is under control kind of thing. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, kind of doing all those things, and then the one thing I wasn't sure about, like wondering if it's the medication. It's like the last thing we'll find out, because obviously it's being upped and stuff. So yeah, I am worried, because I don't know what's right. I've managed to get a glaucoma test actually for today. I called today and managed to get it. I really don't think it's glaucoma. I know as far as I know, there's no family history of glaucoma. I mean, I have had laser eye surgery, but I'm not sure that that's a increases risk factor. I don't know. I know, but I hope it's not glaucoma. You end up going blind, don't you? Fucking hell, can you imagine if I add that to my list of woes? Bloody hell. But no. Yeah, hopefully it's not glaucoma. So yeah, I'm kind of I've also kind of booked in for eye test as well, and I'm just feeling I kind of cried a little bit, because I'm very worried about having my eyes tested, because obviously I've got this blurry vision, and I'm worried that basically I'll get my eyes tested, the optician will prescribe some lenses that will basically fit whatever my blurring is at the time, and then of course it changes all the time. And really, I don't think there's anything wrong with my vision. I think there's something that causes, I think that my vision is fine because sometimes it snaps back into focus. So I'm very worried about that. I almost don't want to get an eye test, really. Yeah, it's like I almost don't want to see all these medical people because I almost feel like nobody will really know what's wrong with me. It feels like there's something not right, but nobody will know what it is, and I just risk it being made worse. Well, not the fucking causes, don't I? It's all this stress, it's all this being treated like rubbish, basically, and the causes coming out kind of physically, mentally, what have you. So yeah, so anyway, so there's that one. There's a psychiatry appointment in the middle as well. So again, yeah, what'd you say? I feel crap. Taking all this medication. Yeah, I don't actually remember that much from it. I mean, what do you say or do, It already feels like I'm taking a shit ton of medication. My mood is so low, and I think I'm on the maximum dose of antidepressants as it is. Epilepsy medication acts as a mood stabiliser, which can also suppress your mood. So with all the stress that I'm going through, and it contributing to my mood being so low, with the ironically that causing the epilepsy and the medication that I'm on also suppressing my mood, it's like I can't win. The medication that I have to help one thing ends up basically trashing my mood, so I feel horrendous. I don't want to get out of bed. It's just it's almost funny. It is, isn't it? It's almost funny. You gotta laugh or you cry, and I cry a lot. And then I saw the Occupational Health, and that was interesting actually, because again, so many feelings, because this diary is trying to talk about the impact. So I'm trying not to talk too much about the ins and outs and things that have actually happened, but talk about the impact, so that way it doesn't I don't know, I don't you know what I mean, put myself or anyone else in any position sort of thing. But it was interesting because the feelings that I had beforehand were being referred to Occupational Health again. They've seen me before, they'll be thinking, oh, I've got to see this person again. We saw her a year ago, done the report, why are we seeing her again? And kind of like very much thinking of me as kind of being lacking, or, something wrong with me or bad about me, that I'm, not just in this position, but kind of worse and more ill, and, what have I not been doing, or why am I in this situation when all this effort's been put into helping me? I don't know. And, feeling embarrassed, feeling, I don't know, like a bad person, all these feelings. This is all the feelings that I had before the actual things. Again, talking about impacts. And then having the actual meeting, and then realising actually the Occupational Health report was, it gave recommendations, and they were kind of, they were kind of clear, and they said if X, Y, Z's done, the health will improve. If it's not done, it will deteriorate. And it wasn't done, so it's deteriorated. So actually it's quite accurate, and it's not that I'm rubbish or anything. It's just it is what it is. It was foretold at the beginning of the year, and a year, when there's been a year, that's a year is long enough to implement reasonable adjustment, surely. Yeah, it's cost me a lot, hasn't it? Yeah, so I think those have, so again you've got 3 impacts there, and it's 3 things that have had major kind of impact. I haven't really, I've avoided people, I've not gone out of the house, I've mainly stayed in bed. Sometimes I've ventured out to she shed here. Again, not very much. I've also basically been crying and avoiding people, or let's say been a tad argumentative and angry with when I have had interactions occasionally. I think with the 2 or 3 interactions that I have had. So yeah. Even looking back, I think, yeah, rightly so. But at the same time, those interactions kind of again cost me dearly, because I ended up feeling even worse and in bed and crying a lot, and not good. So yeah, yeah, not great. And then see, the other thing that I've got hanging over my head, again, there was the notes that I sent back in. Again, this all to do with, I'm looking at the part of what started these diary entries was the impact of kind of grievance processing, seeing if I could get pro bono support for tribunal process should I need it. So yeah, I had to kind of sign off some notes for formal grievance, and again that knocked me so much for 6, and I that it hurt, it really took it out of me. All I was doing is basically going through, so if I'd say just checking it off and saying, yeah, I said that, or this bit's missing, or etc. But it was just kind of reading through it again, and again it's just sort of being reminded of stuff, and it's I think part of it is whether the impact of things is looking at things and wondering if there'll be either believed, or if they'll be, I'm trying to think of what the word is, either valued or not valued, taken seriously, I suppose. I think the word that what's the word that I'm looking for? It's when people understand that it's important, or it causes harm, or it's an issue. Yeah. Wondering what happens if it's, kind of, if it's something where, sometimes there's things that can't be corroborated. It's like, what do you do with that? I think you always get an idea, because you might have actual interactions that can't be corroborated, but you can get a bigger picture. You can look at things that happened before and afterwards and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, that hurt. And the other thing, this is one of the impacts that's very, very difficult. So I know now that I'll get an outcome in. I know now that I'm going to get an outcome in about 2 weeks. So what I'm going to have to do is make so obviously the lasting outcome, I ended up in hospital. So one of the very, very difficult things that I'm having to do is look at whatever support I need in this grievance outcome. The difficult thing is that I know that going on past experience, afterwards, I'm not going to want to be around anybody. I want to run away. I want to be on my own. And yes, I will feel very tired. I won't want to carry on anymore. I will just feel like sinking, a whole ton of tablets and not carrying on and all the rest of it. That is how I will feel, because I have to seriously plan for things not being right. And the worst thing is that I know that I have to acknowledge a side of me that just wants that doesn't, that actually doesn't want to plan against that. It just wants to go with it, almost wants to plan for it. So part of preparing for that has meant speaking to my CMHT team, asking for a date, and so dates so I can get prepared and stuff, talking through with my psychotherapist about whatever support would be needed. I mean, I would say support, what I will probably need is afterwards. And I'm talking very openly about this because there'll be other people again who are in similar circumstances, or they end up in similar circumstances, and I think you need to be open about these things, because there's going to be other people will need to do this too, and also not feel embarrassed or like a bad person or a failure because they're having to do this. I'm feeling all those things, by the way. So don't feel like that. I feel like that. It's okay if you feel like that. I do too. But so part of that, essentially, I have to do the meeting, obviously, kind of on me told on confidentially and all that. But then I suppose it's having, I don't know how this will work. I don't know if it means that I'll be switching straight away by, I don't know, video call or something to my CMHT team, or if I have someone, you know, at the you know, face to face that will come and be with me, or, you know, I mean, obviously my hubby's at home and that as well, you know, but you know, it's kind of needing some sort of therapeutic input as well. And also I think it can be really scary when things are quite you know, things get quite bad for people around you. So yeah, basically I'm just having to plan for the absolute worst. Can you imagine if it was, you know, great, and you know, I can just say to her, oh, it's fine, carry on, you know, it'll be all right. So again, this is part of it. This is part of what you have to do. And yeah, I'd encourage anyone in the same situation to try and do similar. You know, kind of take yeah, hopefully last time I took one for the team, so so you didn't have to, you know. Yeah, don't rely on you know, thinking you'll be all right, just because last time I sort of thought I'd be all right, and I ended up in hospital. It's not a great thing after 15 years. Yeah, I'm still pissed off about that. I'm so pissed off. I'm so angry, but you know, anyway, so yeah. Yeah, so better get ready for my glaucoma test, hadn't I? Oh, Jesus. I think I was disabled or something, weren't you? I think I was ill. I think there was something wrong with me. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, see you next time.